What's up guys, welcome to another video. In this video I will be going in depth and talking about 5 pieces of information that came out of the last Lost Pages episode that I feel you should know about. If you would like to watch the episode for yourself, because I will not tell you everything that was in that video, I highly recommend you go over there and you watch that video. Link in the description, a card on your screen, and a link at the end of this video. But let's get right into it. So the first piece of information I feel that you guys should know is the confirmed realms we will travel to. In this Lost Pages episode, the developers were talking about the art style of the game, and they dropped a couple names of worlds we will visit. Some of the worlds we will see is one, we will actually see the world tree. The developers said that this will be like unlike anything that they've seen in a video game, what they've done with the world tree. We will be visiting Alfenheim, Helheim, and Niflheim. These worlds are really interesting. They all have their own diverse designs and everything like that, their own stories behind them, and I feel that this is extremely interesting. One of the things that people have really been talking about is the realms that we will visit, so it's very good to hear some confirmation in some of the worlds we will be looking at. The second piece of information I feel you should know is that the surrounding environment of each realm will play some part in the narrative of the story. An example was that Niflheim is very cold, and that would really matter once we visit there when it comes to the story. So maybe Atreus and Kratos to get a new change of clothes, because the change of clothes that they have in Midgard probably won't matter in Niflheim because of the harsh cold, so they will need to adapt to survive. And again, this is very interesting how they're blending the environment and the narrative and making it into one. The developers had said it's not like you hop into one world and you just make a story about it. These worlds and the narrative are all blended together so well that it increases the narrative of the story overall, and I'm very excited to really see what they're talking about. Another thing that they dropped was that there will be a ton of environmental dangers. The creatures will attack you just as much as the environment will attack you. For example, the developers had said that there are a lot of exploding world tree roots that is all around the environment. The environment is also what's going to make the puzzle. So when we run into these puzzles, they're going to be crafted, made, and structured by the environment alone. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. Again, making the environment a part of gameplay, a part of story, is always a plus. Number 4, humor will play a big part in the games. In Norse mythology itself, there are a lot of humor moments, such as when Thor cross-dressed as a woman to act like Freya to be married off to another giant just so that Thor can get his hammer back. These funny moments in Norse myth will translate over to God of War. There are going to be a lot of humor in this game. Again, I feel that's fantastic. Humor is always good. If you're going to have a serious game, eventually I'm going to want to take a break because of all the seriousness. So humor is a very good way to break that mold. And the last piece of information is something that I feel is the most important, is that the art team went out of their way to make everything in each realm look like they're supposed to be there. So for every puzzle, down to the detail of the rocks and the bushes, which they actually did mention, has to match the environment in some way. Each realm will have its own distinct look, so none of them will have the same assets, will have the same designs, and not the same environment for, again, every single realm we will be visiting. And for every realm, they will give you a brand new feeling and a brand new way to look at God of War. And again, since this game is going to be 25 to 35 hours long, that is a lot of art we're going to get to look at. And I guess this will be the end of the video. Again, I feel that's 5 pieces of information I feel you should know about. But again, I highly recommend you watch the whole video for yourself and you listen to the story at the beginning of the Lost Pages. Again, each Lost Page will have its own story, so I really recommend you look at that. It's about Odin, Tyr, and the giants. Highly recommend you watch the video. I'm going to be out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces.